Last week, BuzzFeed received a considerable amount of criticism after it published a leaked dossier claiming that Russia, and specifically Vladimir Putin, had some pretty incriminating information on Donald Trump. Now, that information included an accusation that Trump hired prostitutes to urinate on a bed in a hotel room that the Obamas stayed in. Now, that was an unverified report, which is why BuzzFeed got the criticism for publishing it. However, Russia, Vladimir Putin specifically, have decided to respond to these accusations. And here is what Putin has to say. People who order fakes of the type now circulating against the U.S. president-elect, who concoct them and use them in a political battle, are worse than prostitutes because they don't have any moral boundaries at all. Now, obviously, there's some issues with translation there, but that was his statement. I just want to quickly comment on the irony of someone like Vladimir Putin talking about morals. Someone who is literally a murderer talking about morals. But nonetheless, let's go on. Here's the fun part of his quote. Trump was a grown man, and secondly, he's someone who has been involved with beauty contests for many years and has met the most beautiful women in the world. I find it hard to believe that he rushed to some hotel to meet girls of loose morals, although ours are undoubtedly the best in the world.
Oh, that's my favorite part, the ending.
What?
He just told you that they have the best whores in Russia. They're like, oh, no. Do not insult Russian prostitutes. Now, of course, a good man like Donald Trump would never do it. But if he did, they are very, very good. In fact,
I jump in it.
And prostitutes in Russia.
I has it.
No. Trump is Putin 2.0, right? Like the narcissism, the obsession with winning, the obsession with being the best. Like Vladimir Putin is so obsessed with winning in this case that he's willing to make a comment about the wonderful nature of his prostitutes.
Yeah. Oh, the German prostitutes and the Chinese prostitutes have nothing on us. Our prostitutes number one. You are not winning with your hookers anymore. He became Arab in the middle. Okay, anyway. All right, now back to the important stuff. I'm with you, Anna. I mean, the irony of, he mentioned fake news in the beginning. There is very good evidence that the Russians put out fake news here in America. Mm-hmm. And he says, anyone who would put out fake news like this has no morals. Looking right back at you, Pootie Pie. Okay, so, yeah. In fact, this is all so orchestrated. They love this, that there's a small percentage chance, I don't know what it is, and I don't have evidence on it. This is just my gut feeling in covering the news for this long. There's some chance they leaked this, right? Because it distracts from everything else. Like, this is exactly the day before Trump was going to do his big press conference about all of his conflicts of interest.
Yes.
And all anybody asked was about peeing on a bed.
Yes.
That story sounded absolutely ridiculous. You know, BuzzFeed and why they printed it, I don't know. But it rang so false. And by the way, this is a rare story where Trump has an excellent defense. He's like, I'm a germaphobe. That's true. That's well documented.
Well, okay, let me just make a comment about the germaphobe thing for a second. Trump didn't allegedly order them to piss on him. He ordered them to piss on a bed, allegedly, which again is unverified. I don't believe it, whatever. What does that have to do with him being a germaphobe? It's not like they like just pissed all over him or something. Like, he had nothing to do, in the allegation, he had nothing to do with touching the urine. Nothing to do with it.
It doesn't matter. The story seems obviously false.
Yes, but here's the more important part of this, okay? Let's say that dossier had been verified and BuzzFeed managed to investigate it and find corroborating sources. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The American people, those who voted for him and continue to support him, don't care. The man was caught on tape talking about grabbing women by the pussy without their consent, and that he would move on them like a bitch. That was his exact statement. American people didn't care. You know why? Because they're sick of the way this country is run. They're sick of establishment politics, and they're so desperate for a change that they're willing to ignore any and all scandals if someone claims that they're going to come in and mix things up. So for people in the media and for people who are his true opponents, stop trying to find scandals to discredit him, because it's not working. He will survive every scandal regardless, unless you can prove that the American people are going to experience a severe economic burden with him as our leader. That's the only thing that matters.
I just think it makes the Democrats feel better. Like, they feel like, oh, it was the Russians. Oh, well, if I can get him If I can show you he's a bad guy one more time. Anna's right, they don't care that he's a bad guy. The question is he going to be able to deliver? That's why we did the Loser Donald segments, because in fact he is a loser and he is not going to be able to deliver. Now you can say, hey, he won the election, super fair point. I think Hillary Clinton lost the election more than he won it. The guy's sitting at a 40% popularity rating as a president-elect, which is unheard of. He is the most unpopular president-elect we have by a landslide. George W. Bush seemed incredibly popular by comparison. So you're absolutely right, Anna. They're attacking him in all the wrong ways.
They are. Finally, I want to leave you with some wonderful photos of Putin that were taken years ago that I enjoyed and I remembered while covering the story. There he is on a horse.
Bear horse riding, going bareback.
I jump in it.
And then my favorite photoshopped image of all time.
I hesitate.
I love that we've labeled it, by the way.
Yeah,
Good job, Arthur. He's like, just in case people don't know, that's Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. Just in case.
And I like how Anna clarified, just in case. It is Photoshop, okay? This was not in a dossier anywhere. It's not real. Calm down.
Well, they do like to ride together.
They do. You don't want to sign up for membership?
Wrong.
You're going to love membership. tytnetwork.com/join.